Hi everyone, this is Irene, and I've just received this Epson Labelworks LW 300 in the mail, and I thought I'd share my experience of it with you since I looked for some reviews on YouTube before buying it, and I didn't really find anything that was very helpful. So I thought maybe this would help anyone who was thinking of buying this, to help you to decide whether or not to get it. So as you can see, here it is. I've just received it in the mail a couple of hours ago, and I have fiddled around with it and made a couple of labels. It's the first time I've used it, and I have to say I'm quite impressed so far. I got two tape thingies with it, black on yellow and black on white. So the first thing I did as soon as I got it in the mail is I opened it, and this is how I opened it, like this, and I inserted the tape in, and it's very easy. You just snap it in and make sure that the tape is in the slot here before you just shut it close again. Now this can work both on AC adapter and batteries. You need 6 of the small ones, and I don't have batteries yet, so I just chose to use the AC adapter. So I'm just closing that again. So far it's very easy to use. Now just power it up. Oh yeah, I have to plug the wire in. Heh. There you go, power on. When you switch the power on, it shows you the last thing that you were doing, and if you don't want to work on the last thing that you were doing and you want to do something new, you just press shift. This blue arrow is the same thing as shift, and this blue arrow down here, and that shows you that you've started your third document. Unless you erase what you were doing, your previous work will remain there. See, I was making some labels, the ones that you saw earlier, these labels, and those are document number 1. I was making some price tags, and they are document number 2, and number 3 is the first thing that I'll be making. Is the third thing that I'll be making. This is the print button, and this is the cut. These are the 2 buttons you'll be using a lot. It's very straightforward. So you just print out whatever you want, and it will show up here. Let me see, I'll just type something quickly. I'll just write my name. Maybe I'll just put my name tag on something. Find that handy. So Irene Kassar. Okay, so that's my name. And you could just print it out as it is, or you could change your settings. And there are many things that you can do to customize your label. There is the font size, and you can put it on 1 or 2 lines if you want to, and you can even customize how big you want the font on the first and second line. Let me show you. Maybe you can just press enter down. You can press enter down here when you're in the when you're choosing your options, and then you just navigate with the arrows, just like a phone. See, these are the size options for 1 line. Then I just put back, and these are the options for 2 lines. So that's very handy. Just going to go back. You can change the font. It seems there are about 16 fonts, and there's even a script font, which I found very nice. 1 or 2 script. There's this fancy English style one, and there's a script here. So there are 16 fonts. Not that much of a choice, but seeing as it's dot matrix and you're not exactly on a computer, I think 16 fonts is quite alright. Then there is the style, and you can choose to have it in italics, in bold, and shadow, outline, and whatever. There's no underline option. It would be nice if there was an underline option. I'll be honest there. Okay, now the first thing that I really struggled with, probably because I wasn't reading the instructions properly. It does come with instructions, and they're straightforward if you pay attention. I have the concentration span of a carrot. But since I bought this online from Germany, I needed to change the language, and that meant that I needed to go into the display settings, and there's no button here that shows you the display settings. What you need to do is press the shift button here, and on this letter A with the magnifying glass, and that puts you into the display settings where you can change the contrast, language, and the metric system that you want, whether it's inches or centimeters. So I'm just going to leave everything as it is because I'm pretty happy with that. Let me customize this for you just so you get to see. I'm going to choose an outline, and I want my font to be very big so you can see what the biggest size is. Enter, and yeah, that's the biggest size. And as for font, I'm going to go for something a little bit like... Oh, I'll choose this one. See, it's a little bit of a cartoonish font. Okay, so I've chosen my options, and before you print, you can actually preview it. So there you go. It tells you actually how long it's going to be. It's going to be 8.2 centimeters, and it shows you the text that you've chosen. Now, if you want to print more than one, there's the multiple print option, but I'm just going to print one. I'm going to save my tape for now, because I'm going to be using this a lot. I don't want to add any symbols. This is the symbol button. Oh, I just switched the power off, sorry. And that's it. I can just print it. Here we go. I'm going to press the print button. It's 8.2 centimeters, so it's pretty big. Oh, that's nice. Now, you press the green button to cut, and here it is. Here's my label. At the back, the tape is easy to remove because it's cut down the middle horizontally, so it's easy to come off. It does not smudge since it's thermal printing. Very nice. Alright, so I think that it's very easy to use. This is my very first label maker, and I'm very happy with this so far. I admit that I might be a bit biased since it's my first label maker, so I don't really have anything to compare it to. I just hope that this is helpful for anyone who does have something to compare it to, or someone who is looking to buy their first label maker. So far, I have no complaints, except that sometimes, because it's dot matrix, here are the other labels that I printed out, and some of the fonts look a little bit rough. For example, this one looks a tiny bit rough when you look at it. Oh, sorry, I can't really focus on it. But others are okay. I think it's not bad. The quality of the printing. I mean, it's a label, it's not exactly art, so I can't complain. But if I really were to complain, it would be that some fonts come out looking a little bit rough and a little bit pixelated. For example, the borders. Oh, the borders! That's the last thing I needed to show you. Sorry. This button here is the settings, and in the settings you can choose a frame. You can either choose to have it off or choose one of 89 frames, which are pretty cute. Some of them I will never use, and others I wish there were more of, you know, like with the flowery borders, and a lot of them are borders that you would use for kids, and since I don't have kids I won't be using them much, so but there is a little bit of everything. That's 89 borders to choose from. Alright. What I would really like in a label maker is if you could add on to it, add like extensions to it, but I don't think that exists so far in Label Maker. Alright, so that's my review of the Epson Labelworks LW300, and if you have any questions, feel free to post them below. Thank you. Bye bye. Hi everyone, this is Irene, and I've just received this Epson Labelworks LW300 in the mail, and I thought I'd share my experience of it with you, since I looked for some reviews on YouTube before buying it and I didn't really find anything that was very helpful, so I thought maybe this would help anyone who was thinking of buying this, to help you to decide whether or not to get it. So, as you can see, here it is. I've just received it in the mail a couple of hours ago, and I have fiddled around with it and made a couple of labels. It's the first time I've used it, and I have to say I'm quite impressed so far. I got two tape thingies with it, black on yellow and black on white,